Hello there. It is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, and it's 4:56 p.m. Putting my phone to my face to make it look like I'm talking into it because I'm actually at a gas station, which is funny because I'm actually like a stone's throw away from not only a Starbucks but also a McDonald's. But I did not quite outrun the rain today. I haven't made a clip for a couple of days. Went back to my family friend's house in the Laguna Woods area. Hung out there for quite a bit. Excuse me. Which was nice and very great. God, excuse me. I just ate a bunch of peanut butter and tortillas. You know how it goes. But spent a lot of time hanging out with them. It was great. Very relaxing. Got a lot of needfuls done. I always enjoy plugging my own desire to do the needful into other people's needfuls when it's allowed and permissible. And so, I know my way around a computer or two. And so it was fun to do some things there. Feel helpful, feel productive, that kind of a thing. So, I think I can probably go from this point and then just kind of go over my day. It's funny because, I'm at this gas station, which, I was shooting for a McDonald's, and I'm only 2.5 miles away from it. But if I went out right now and tried to go 2.5 miles, I am sure that I would get soaked. And again, as I learned on the Appalachian Trail a long time ago, now anyway, it's hard to pass up a sure thing. I'm here at this gas station, I'm dry, I have good enough surrogates for the things that I would actually want from McDonald's, and I actually spent less money than if I went to McDonald's, so it's kind of a win-win. And now that I'm back on the road, going to gas stations is actually a little bit more the style of going through the country on the bike. So it's nice to kind of reacclimate myself, and the coffee machines that they have here are the ones that I always hope to see. They have the canisters. I actually took a picture of the coffee machine because I have a little story about it. Nothing too crazy, but I walked in and I was like, oh sweet, they have my favorite coffee makers. And so I was walking around trying to see what flavors and types of beans they had, looking for the decaf. Then I got to the decaf machine and it was out of order, and I was like, well dang, I don't really want to drink a full cup of coffee at 5 p.m. But I definitely want a cup of coffee, So I was like, dang. So I had a normal cup of coffee that I'm still finishing as I wait for the rain to pass a little bit. But I was like, I'd love to have another cup of coffee. But it's I can't do another caffeinated cup, I'm going to be sealing my fate. I need to go to sleep tonight, and I'm looking forward to going to sleep tonight. But if I have caffeinated coffee, that might be harder to accomplish than I would otherwise prefer. So I thought, these machines, they have these canisters of coffee on top. And I was like, well, those look modular, I should say. And I was like, you could probably just twist them. They're probably keyed in there, and you could just switch one out for another one. And I was like, huh. So I just went over to the people at the front desk, and I was like, can you guys if this is too much, then I totally understand, but I might be here for just a minute while I'm waiting for this rain to pass. So I was wondering if it's possible to move the coffee beans over to a different machine. And this guy went and got his manager, and his manager came out and explained to me why it was not possible. And I was like, well, that's fair enough. I mean, I'm not trying to push for anyone to do this kind of thing. I understand it would be a lot of extra work just for very little payoff, because most people don't drink decaf. So if one of the machines had to go out, it's probably good that it's the decaf one. But I'm already feeling the caffeine, and I'm like, I certainly don't need any more of that. But in any case, just another fun thing, another A/B test, little scientific method put to use. It's just well, I see the problem. It's there's two working machines and one doesn't work, but they all look identical, and so there's a chance that you could swap around parts and have the whole thing work, But alas, that is not the case. So I guess what I should do is probably just fill up the rest of this cup with hot water. That sounds like a good idea. Okay. That's good enough. I was going to go get my French press and then make a whole French press with decaf coffee. but that would be a lot of work too. And it looks like the rain might be pressing out faster than I thought. Maybe not. I don't know. The valley looks like it's totally covered now. So let's fill this up, my dude. Slow going, the hot water machine. I wonder if they have tea. I didn't look for that. I don't have any tea. I drank it all, I think. Okay, that is some weak looking coffee. But Americano it shall be. Nothing better than an Americano made from just like the dregs of drip. You know what I'm saying? The Dregs of Drip sounds like a really cool band name too. But yeah, quite a day. Got up around 6:15 or so, just like all of a sudden wide awake and ready to go. In fact, I should check on my bike. I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen it. I'm like looking. Oh, excuse me. Oh, not coming out. Okay. Oh.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. All right. Back inside we go. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it. But yeah, I got up, had a pretty slow and nice morning. One of the little projects that I did over the weekend, well, it wasn't really a weekend, but over the days that I was with my family friends, was to put all of my Book of Moron clips into Notebook LM, which is a pretty big task. It's like 170 something files for the portion that is strictly on the Appalachian Trail, and then the roadwalks that resulted from it. And then also made one for the Pinhoti. I need to do one for the pre-Pinhoti considerations, but having a computer has been awesome. It's funny too, one of the original titles, they do a summary of all the sources when you initially import them. And it was something about like how profane pedestrianism led to deep theory on systems philosophy and, I don't know, hiking culture or something like that. And I was just like, you guys are hilarious. Like, I love these titles. Like, super creative. Really gets to the heart of what these like ramblings are all about. And yeah, just like fun to be able to play with all that. I don't think I could have done that from my phone. It would have been really intense for the battery to like keep that going to upload all of those, because I had to upload them as MP3s, and then I guess there was some software that turned those MP3s into a transcript, and then the transcript was turned into text that the Notebook LM could actually like interpret, you know. So that was interesting, and I'm continuing to have fun with that. And yeah, what else did I do? Hung out with my family friend, for quite a bit. He took his dog out, had a couple of moments to myself, which was nice. Just kind of making breakfast and all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then I got to ride out with my family friends, and that was great. He's a really cool guy, certainly an idol of mine that I worked with many years ago, learning how to frame a space as a carpenter. And it was kind of fun today earlier too. When I was listening to some clips that were just playing on shuffle, one of them came up from just about a year ago. It was from last November, and I ended up talking about that same experience with him, this framing this attic space and turning it into like, you know, a livable room system. It's really cool. I really enjoyed that summer, learning how to carpenter, and also hanging out with someone who was like a real man in my eyes, you know. And so that was just a really cool thing, and to meet up with him again, he and his wife both, all these years later, is just so much cooler, you know, because we've all grown and changed a lot, but the core of the connection is definitely still there, and that's been awesome to just spend time exploring with them. Gotta stay hydrated. Didn't drink a lot of water today. But yeah, the guy who I originally did all this carpentry with, he rode out with me today, and he was with me for about 12 miles. Lost an earbud, sacrificed an earbud in the process. One of them fell out for him. God, my throat, dude. Just I usually make clips like after I eat these days, and that's not the best idea. I mean, it's the time where I can definitely be the most lucid because I have calories again, and I've got salt and sugars and fats and proteins, so I'm not actively running out of neurological potential, but it definitely makes my throat a little bit congested or something like that. I also got some new shoes, which, hey, what a perfect day to have them. I mean, if I was wearing my sandals right now, it would be very sad because walking around in sandals during all this rain has meant my socks get completely wet, my feet get completely wet, everything stays wet, everything smells really bad. But these shoes, which are, God, my throat, they're it's a brand called Xero, Xero, and they're waterproof, they're my size, and I got them for $27 at REI, originally like $130. So I was like, dude, I cannot say no to that. That's like exactly what I want and need, and it's a perfect cross-section of like the price. Again, like, it's crazy because it was good, cheap, and fast. I just had to wait a really long time to come across the perfect pair, And so yeah, it's like 40 or 8 degrees or 50 degrees outside and raining. Thank you for your help with this. I appreciate it. Raining and cold, but my feet are warm and dry. They got the Gore-Tex, my dude. I couldn't be happier. They hurt a little bit biking, if I'm honest, but I would anticipate some amount of pain no matter what kind of shoes I was wearing. So that's fine. And I'll take a sip of this coffee. Make a little room for other people getting coffee. And what else? I started biking on this road called Ortega Highway after my family friend left to go back to his place, and it was like the first real climb that I've had in a long time. It went up to like 2,600 feet, maybe a little higher than that. That was the last sign that I saw for an objective elevation, and then had this awesome downhill into this town. And I got here right before the rain started, so I'm sitting pretty. I got minimally wet and certainly completely recoverably wet. My gear, nothing was too crazy. And now I'm just kind of waiting for conditions to improve, which they're supposed to. When I looked at the weather most recently. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, I can get all this junk out of your way. My bad. Yeah, when I got into town, it was like just starting to rain, which was kind of what was predicted. But, dude, I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. If I had spent any more time, that descent from the mountaintop could have been so miserable. Just cold and wet, and like a lot of wind, dangerous stuff, and not a very good shoulder. I would say that the whole experience was like acceptable. Like, there wasn't a ton of traffic, but there was more traffic than I would prefer. And the shoulder wasn't completely terrible, but it certainly was not like the best. I keep putting my coffee in bad spots. Let me grab this stuff. Man, there's like not a good spot. Maybe, oh wow. Excuse me, sorry. Alright. So yeah. What else? Came down the mountain, rain started, I found some flavored Zen. I actually have a peppermint 6 in right now, which I'm kind of enjoying. It's kind of like a festive, like holiday feeling thing, especially when paired with coffee, if you know what I'm saying. And I think that you do. But let's see. Looking at it, I just looked at my phone. 14:22. Yet again, that's when I start to feel like things are moving back in a direction of needing to check. Let me try this. Make sure it's not too hot. Seems like it might be. God, this coffee looks terrible. That's not the worst thing in the world. It's kind of nice. but yeah, man, just gonna wait and hope that it clears. And I guess I'll probably end up doing my nightly logistical needfuls here soon enough, because I don't really know where I'm going, and this has put a huge monkey wrench into me going anywhere too much farther. It's completely dark now, and again, cold and wet, so I'll need to factor those things into my destination. I mean, given where I am right now, there are a couple of McDonald's that I could probably stealth camp close to, and then go there early in the morning and start like a normal day. I'm kind of planning, hopefully, to get to a point where I'm far enough inland and into the desert where I don't really have to worry about any of this rain anymore. Like, there's supposed to be a couple of more days of rain in this general area, I think Thursday and Friday. But if I have enough time tomorrow to get, another 50, 60 or more miles away from this general area, I think I'll be able to actually, get to a place where I don't really have to worry about this anymore. I kind of look forward to the flip when I'm like, man, I wish it would just rain or something, have some clouds or something. But this rain that they've been having in this area has been insane. Like, I think that they now have they must be at a point where they're close to a quarter or more of the rain that they typically see in an entire year. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's been wet and cold and not what you would expect or envision for Southern California, even in November. Again, I'm not super familiar with the weather patterns around here, so maybe this is normal, but it's definitely not something that I've experienced recently, and it seems like most people who I've talked to about it have said that it is very unusual. I think the family friends I was staying with actually said at a certain point that this is the first rain that they can remember getting all year, which is absolutely insane. Especially coming from Georgia, where it seems like it's easier to count the days that it did rain than it is to count the days that it didn't, But yeah, things are good. I'm excited and happy to be back on the road. I've enjoyed all of the rest and the relaxation and the time for kind of getting a different kind of ducks in a row, just like my, I don't know, there's just a different sort of version of myself emerges when I have time to sit, and it's not all about movement, and it's nice to get in touch with that part too, especially after so many days of effort, and this kind of weather really puts it into sharp relief, like just how good the weather has actually been, generally speaking, for this trip. Like, this is not something that I've been like, this is not like, I don't have a series of memories of being on the road for moments like this where it's cold and wet and nasty. It is crazy that it's completely dark right now and it's only 4 o'clock, but it is what it is, I suppose. And I couldn't be in a better spot. I love gas stations. I love REIs, Starbucks, McDonald's, gas stations. What else do I love? More recently, smoke shops, because they carry the flavored Zen. What a life hack that is. What else do I love? Grocery stores, like major ones. What else? Is there anything else? Best Buy occasionally, depending. But yeah, my dude, things are well. Things are good. I can't wait to really, get some momentum again. I got to bike from my Airbnb on Sunday to my family friend's house, and that was like a nice 49.5 mile ride. So it felt very familiar to be on the bike again, if only a little bit like unfamiliar. And today felt no different. It was just like, well, I'm just going to be climbing for 2,000 feet, and it's going to take 22 miles. So this is going to probably be one of the easier climbs that I've done on this trip, and it did end up being the case. I don't remember the climb at all. There was no significance to it. It was pretty, and it was cool to be. It reminded me of the Blue Ridge Parkway in a lot of areas, which is kind of cool. Just maybe like a less forested, more exposed part, like a higher elevation part of the Blue Ridge Parkway, a little bit closer to tree line, that kind of a vibe. I guess it's the desert down here, but yeah, chilling, my dude. Just chilling. What else? What time is it? 5:15. So, yeah, I've got another possibly 45 minutes to wait out the rain if the forecast is to be believed. And in the meantime, it's going to be helpful if I can find where I'm actually going to end up going for the evening. I'd be very content to find something dry and secure and go to bed super early and then get up super early. And honestly, I don't mean to count my chickens before they hatch, but I am certainly entertaining the idea of a really big day, maybe tomorrow, depending how the evening goes and how depending on how the evening goes and how I feel in the morning, I would be very happy to do a 100-mile day, especially if it means that it's going to push me into a different area where I don't have to worry about another situation like this. And it just makes me so grateful that I didn't have to endure some of the just day-long rain that we had recently. That would have been such a bummer to just continuously and consistently have my hopes dashed just by I'm always an optimist, I'm well, it's probably going to get better before too long. Surely it's not going to rain all day long. But recently, a couple days out of this last week, it certainly did rain all day long. Maybe if I had been traveling, I would have found a few more respites in between, downpours. But in general, especially my walks, I guess I was moving. And the second big walk, the 20-mile walk that I did the last day I was at the Airbnb, that was wet start to finish, with very, very few intermissions of all the wetness that was going on. And man, these shoes would have been so much better for that. Oh my God, waterproof shoes, dude, it's genius. I mean, that's a really good idea. If you're going to be walking around during a rainstorm, it's cool to have waterproof shoes. Let's try another sip of this coffee. Yeah, I don't know what that taste reminds me of. It tastes like a lot of genuine effort to be flavorful with the minimal amount of ingredients to make that so. Kind of feels like if a really, really impoverished person was hosting me and they wanted me to have something, they might use a little bit of their coffee to go a very, very long way. I guess to be fair, it's a microdose, so I'm kind of into that in general. So I guess it's adequate or something like that. But yeah, this talking on the phone fake podcast making thing is working out pretty well. And the rain, it's still dripping a little bit, but it's gone down a lot. It's unfortunate that it's so dark because I usually will rely on birds as an indicator of the rain, actually passing, since I assume they have more at stake to go out into the rain than I do. It could be a life or death situation for them. For me, it's just annoying or not annoying. Oh, and it's nice to be a human being, my dude. I would not switch places with any other animal. Don't care what kind of superpowers they have, it's not as good as this kind of a thing. So I think I'll go ahead and go for now. And I'll look forward to basically getting back on track with business as usual starting tomorrow. I'm looking at these advertisements for nicotine products here, and I'm just wow, in California you can only get tobacco flavored Juul pods and Vuse pods. I would not, if I still vaped, I would not stay here. I'd be dude, again, this is making me want to quit, and that's rude. I guess it works, the lack of flavoring, it's just amazing. I didn't even know I was so basic. Although I do love Starbucks, so I guess I should have known. Ouch. It just burnt my mouth. Alright, well, I'll leave it there for now and get back to you tomorrow. I'm anticipating a good day, and today was a great day too. So shout out to my parents, shout out to my family, friends, and shout out to you, dear listener. Thank you for lending and bending your ear to hear a little bit of what it's like to step into the mind of a moron. Love you. Bye.